Hey everybody, and welcome to Don't Copy That Floppy, your weekly video game news podcast, broadcasting live on chipbit.net, 7 to 8 p.m. Fridays. Oh, and that's also Eastern Standard Time. It is August 12th.
Yes.
A Friday. And I am your host, Lex, and I'm joined by my co-host.
I'm Dan.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky.
So much.
But we'll get to that later.
What are all the fun stories we're going to be talking about today, Dan?
We're going to talk about esports stories that confused me because I had no idea what they were talking about. We're going to talk about the Xbox a little bit. We're going to talk about some games and game developers who I thought either didn't exist, or like I was positive no longer were a thing, or I never knew were a thing in the first place.
Ooh.
So mysterious. We'll also be talking a lot about No Man's Sky, presumably, because it came out and it's kind of the hot topic right now.
Oh yeah, hot topic. Get
Hot
your Suicide
topic.
Squad gear here.
And then we have some little stories about other games. We have some Pokemon news. We have some little indie title type stuff. We are chatting live on chipbit.net. In their little chat thing. You can go sign in there and talk to us.
We can also be found on all sorts of social media.
That's right.
Such as Facebook, Steam, Twitter, YouTube, iTunes, and soon, Twitch.
Oh yeah. Our Patreon has gotten the few more dollars we needed to start a Twitch stream.
We have passed our second milestone, so now we will have a Twitch channel. This channel, at its lowest tier, is guaranteed to give you our podcast, but with some video.
Also, yeah, well, you're guaranteed periodic gameplay of whatever we feel like.
And rebroadcasts of both our show and our periodic gameplay.
Our periodic gameplay.
There will be a schedule. Yeah.
Hey, I got a big plan, but we're not going to do it right away. But I got my big, wonderful one-on-one marathon extravaganza.
Oh my god!
Planned to share it with the world, and by the world I mean the 5 people who will be watching.
But yeah, so Patreon, we're on Patreon. It's a big deal for us. You can donate. You can give us money each month.
Got a bunch of reward tiers laid out on that site.
You can vote on stories.
Yeah, you can get you can have more say in general. Beyond that, if you give more, you can suggest stories for us to.
Yeah, you can make us cover stories.
You can make us cover a story. You can also get a sexy voicemail.
Oh, if you want to go top tier.
If you want to go give us top dollar, what is it, like 50 or something?
It was like 50 or 75.
But hey,
or
we'll
something.
say anything you want. Is Patreon just like weird internet prostitution?
Yes.
Like, hey, give us money, we'll do whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Oh, we have our fan-voted story this week.
Yes.
Or I shouldn't say fan-voted, it's Patreon-voted. You have to actually pay money to be able to vote.
Yeah, we don't care if you're our fan.
Yes.
You have to pony up.
You have to be our customers. But no, that's a fun story about Wave Race 64.
Oh, yeah. That Wave Race 64 story.
That was the one that won, as I knew it would. Because I
Yes.
gave 2 options, and the other one was, like, kind of fun, but not nearly as fun as Wave Race 64.
What site was that on? I'll find it.
You got the link in your face box.
Is it in my face box?
I'm pretty sure it's in your face box.
You sent it to me on? Okay.
So you can probably find it there. But we're going to talk about that at the end of the show. So.
Yeah. I knew I had it somewhere.
But yeah, so thank you, Patreon members. Your support is making this show possible. Specifically, Harambe, who has given us money from heaven. He's the member that I'm going to shout out this week.
Well, Harambe came into our chat and talked to us, so
he said things that I can't repeat on air.
Go into the chat and you can see what Harambe said. We could totally repeat that on air.
No, we can. Because we're on the internet, but we're not that kind of shit. We're kid friendly, basically. Some of the time.
Let's talk about Dota.
Oh, Dota 2.
I don't really want to, but we should. We've done some esports stories recently because it's becoming more worth reporting on, I guess. It's becoming a much bigger deal. To the point that it's been on like ESPN too recently. They broadcast tournaments and things like that.
And this week is one of those tournaments or thing like it.
Or thing like it. What was the last one? It was EVO, the fighting game tournament.
Yeah.
They broadcast the Street Fighter finals.
That was cool.
On TV, which is pretty neat, actually.
So this week is TI6, which is the International 6. Which is weird.
That's what it stands for.
Yeah, no, it's weird because, like, why would you include the? Shouldn't it just be I6?
Look, man, esport's gonna esport.
Yeah, they don't
have to obey your rules.
All they have to obey is the internet's rules, which means there should be random capitals in certain places.
Because I saw them talking about at TI6, and I was reading this whole article, and they kept saying TI6, and I'm like, I have no idea what TI6 is. I really wish this article told me what that means. I assumed it was some kind of tournament, though, because they were talking about how North America has not historically done very well.
Really, in any esport, the North America usually is thought of as a joke region.
StarCraft.
Oh no,
Oof.
That's all South Korea.
It's all South Korea,
but
dominate it.
There's a great article from ESPN, because that's where we're drawing articles now.
This isn't even the ESPN2 website.
Yeah, it's a straight up ESPN. Listen, esports are a thing, people. But this is an article from today, from the 12th, entitled Evil Geniuses, The Great American Hope at TI6.
And there's a man with an American flag cape and American flag sunglasses and American flag pants.
Oh, it's amazing.
This is like pro wrestling levels of ridiculous costume.
He's also kind of coming out from behind a curtain, which also sort of adds to the pro wrestling mystique.
Very dramatically, with all this red light like filtering in.
So good. But anyway, Evil Geniuses, for those who don't know, are a Dota 2 team, and they are from North America. I think there's like one or two other North American teams that are actually like competitive, but none of them are doing nearly as well as Evil Geniuses have been doing.
Yes.
There's apparently Dota is there's a lot of European teams that are really big, and there's a lot of Chinese teams.
Yes.
But the Asian teams we kind of expected. Stereotyping a little bit there. But the European team, I was like, as someone who doesn't know a lot about pro Dota 2, I was like, oh, Europe, I guess they're like really competitive.
Yeah. Sebastien Debs had some scathing words for the North American teams.
Oh, yeah.
He during the qualifiers running up to the Dota 2 World Championship in Seattle, this guy who's the coach of, I'm assuming, a French team, but I'm not positive, said, watching European qualifiers all day and then watching this shit show, referring to the NA qualifiers, I can't believe the ratio to qualify is actually highest in this one. It's bullshit. So
he's basically like, oh,
they're all so bad.
The European team's so much better than the American.
No, don't jump the gun with the accents. I'm not sure he's French. He's a very French first name.
So he was like, oh, the European teams are so much better.
Yeah, they're just way better
than the North American
Watching
teams.
The American teams is like a complete joke.
I mean, he looks really French.
He's very French.
Oh, his hair is perfect.
Yes.
He's got to be French.
It's so feathered. So, okay.
God. What a celebrity. But, so he's
but
about that.
It would seem that this year, U.S. Team Evil Geniuses is doing pretty well for themselves.
Now, they have not, according to this article, they have not faced off against a European team yet. Yeah. Because of the way, like, the matches have shuffled out. They've just faced off against, like, 9 Chinese teams or something. It's crazy. And a couple American ones. But they're doing real good. They're beating everybody. Or, you know.
They're at, like, 9-3 now?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, but we have this other... Okay, this story is actually about somebody else. This is so confusing.
Yeah, no, since we don't really know much about these teams, looking in from the outside is just like, I don't know what any of these words mean. This does talk about how the StarCraft 2 dominated by South Koreans, League of Legends, Europeans, and specifically also Brazilians, have devoured all of the Counter-Strike wins. So...
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. South Koreans are StarCraft 2 and League of Legends, and Europeans and Brazilians are Counter-Strike. I said that all wrong.
Because they got their toaster computers, they can run Counter-Strike. That's what they got to compete on. So, Evil Geniuses... They made it to the top 3 of the last 3 internationals. So they seem to be, like, the team to watch.
Yeah.
For the Americans.
They've also had a lot of team shakeups in the last year, apparently.
We reported on one of those.
Yeah.
Last year, I believe, where one of the, like, older team members who was, like, 27 was retiring due to medical issues because he had, like, carpal tunnel.
Retired at 27.
I mean...
Oh no! But yeah, so people, so they were even more of an underdog because of that, because they had lost members and they had gotten new people who were less tested.
A lot of people were saying that they were going to fall apart this year and not be able to accomplish anything, but apparently they've been doing very well.
Yeah, they've got all those 17-year-old prodigy wonderkins.
It's just like gymnastics.
Oh my god, it is. That. Oh, you know what? That's
you
how
get all
I
those super young kids with the fast reflexes.
That's how I wanted to lead in this story yesterday when I was thinking about it. I forgot about it when we actually started it. But you guys probably paying attention to the Rio Olympics. That's not where the real action is. The real action's in Seattle,
where
at
no
TI6.
One's name makes any sense.
No, God, none of them.
Chances are, if you're reading one of these articles about TI6, and you keep seeing repeated phrases or words that make no sense to you whatsoever, chances are it's the name of a team.
Yeah.
That's just a pro tip from one person suffering through this to another.
Well, because when they talk about specific players, they give their first name, then
their screen name,
their tag in the middle, and then their last name.
Tag.
Yeah. So, oh my God, 17-year-old prodigy Sumail Hassan.
They talked about him last year too, because he was like a new thing they got on the team.
And there was somebody, who was it? Yeah, Zai, who was, no, this wasn't the guy we talked about when we did this last story, but there was this dude named Zai who was on Evil Geniuses, and he left because he wanted to graduate high school before he went back into esports.
So these guys, Evil Geniuses, plays Counter-Strike as well.
Yeah, but they're probably not
their main thing is Dota.
Yeah.
Digital Chaos, are these guys also Dota? Because we have this other story about Digital Chaos.
They are also Dota, but I think they're from North America, right? But they are definitely Dota, too. Yeah.
Yeah. Dota 2 tournament stage, and they beat this other team called eHome.
They're Chinese.
Nothing. Yeah. A Chinese team. eHome was one of the pillars of Chinese Dota and one of the oldest teams in the scene.
Oh my god.
So I guess...
their members might be as old as 30.
Oh,
that's crazy.
These ancient ones, these legendary beings, gracing us with their Dota presence. So, I guess on Friday, Digital Chaos is going on to play the winner of... Never mind, I don't know what this means. God damn it!
None of it makes any sense.
Christ's sakes!
No, okay, so this brings me to another point about esports going this mainstream.
We know stuff about video games.
And we don't understand this.
So how do you expect people who don't know a goddamn thing about video games and esports to understand a word of this?
I have a counter argument for that.
Okay, go for it.
And when I read articles about football, I am just as confused as when I read articles about Dota 2.
I got a better grip on that, but that's because I read a really long football manga one time.
Well, that's fair.
So I learned all the terminology.
You educated yourself.
Yeah.
But it's funny, because now when I go on ESPN's website and I read these articles about Dota 2, I feel like I'm reading an article about football.
Yeah.
Or maybe hockey.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my god, they really have become mainstream. Because they have now gone out of the realm of me being able to understand it.
Yeah. Because, like, they say MVP here, but I don't know if they actually mean MVP or that's part of a team's name.
Yeah, I don't understand at all. MVP Phoenix versus...
I think that they're saying that these two are these teams, MVP Phoenix and Fnatic. No, I'm going to say Fnatic.
That's fair.
That's what they wrote.
That's the phonetic pronunciation.
And whoever wins Digital Chaos will play
in round 5
right now.
In round 5 of the lower bracket.
In round 5 of the lower bracket.
So there's, and I mean, this really, we'll probably have a better grip on this next week because it will be over and we'll be able to say, like, these are the people who came out on top at the end.
But right now, you got all the lining up of who's going against who. And it's all in the middle of it right now.
Then we're very confused.
Super confused.
But listen, it's important. I know people who are there in Seattle. They ditched the online D&D game that I was going to run for them.
Oh my god, what losers.
I know, what the hell?
Who ditches a D&D game for a sporting event?
Exactly! Exactly, but no, they...
what a joke.
But they're having a lot of fun there. And it's really fun, getting back to sort of the crux of the Evil Geniuses article, that the tournament's being held in North America, and they've got their own team that they can root for. Like, apparently Chants of USA, like, from the crowd, and everyone's getting really into it, and all, that sort of home team advantage kind of thing. People are, it's an exciting time. People are excited.
Yeah.
It's cool. I'm happy about that. But let's talk about the other MOBA.
Let's talk about League of Legends. But this isn't about esports, really.
No.
This is about Riot Games, who are the makers of League of Legends, going after the world's largest, apparently, League of Legends hacking and botting service.
Which is called League Sharp, or L Sharp sometimes. I will also point out that this article is from... The Rift Herald from yesterday, August 11th.
Okay, these guys have a giant eye as their, logo?
Well, no, it's the official League of Legends, news source.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, because it looks like some weird Illuminati crap.
I know, right?
Or one of those websites like Stormfront, where a bunch of crazy people post their political opinions.
But no, this article, I would actually highly recommend people read it, because it's super well written. If maybe a bit long... but I was just like, wow, this community actually has, journalists that know what they're doing. Yeah. So that's nice. Not what I was expecting, honestly. But, so there's, basically we find out that L Sharp, is not actually Peruvian, as some would assume.
In a CIA-like turn.
Yeah.
The Peruvian corporation is secretly run by 3 Germans.
3 German hackers.
Yeah. They're not just regular everyday Germans.
No.
They're hackers.
They're hackers. They're really cool, alt Germans. If you read The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, it's probably a lot like that.
They wear clothes. They wear, Fifth Element clothes.
Yeah, definitely.
Shiny shorts and rubber suspenders.
And, a plastic plate over the shaved part of their head.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is my reality.
But, we have their names. I'm going to butcher pronouncing all of them. But Matthias Altmann of
Grossenknechten,
Germany.
Stefan Delgado?
I think that might be a typo.
I hope it's not.
I hope
his name is Stefan Delgado.
Of Wiesbaden.
Wiesbaden.
Oh yeah, because W's are pronounced like V's.
Yeah, I know that much. And Tyrone Tom Power.
Amazing. That's not a German name at all.
Lunen.
And it also gives their namer tags, but no one cares about those.
Their namer tags are terrible. They're just gibberish.
But yeah, so they had set up the Misty Y Pichu.
Misty E Pichu. Clearly a Pokemon reference.
I know.
Misty and Pichu.
SRL.
Also known as Chichani.
Ugh.
This sounds like a Metal Gear plot.
If only they named it the Lalelulelo.
You listen, you don't understand, Snake. Pichu SRL, also known as Chichani, is just a cutout organization for the Patriots. I can hear Master Miller saying it.
But yeah, so it was a shell company in Peru to cover up the illegal activities that they were performing.
Right.
So they made this service that people could pay for monthly. They would pay $50 monthly to get all of these great bots and cool things. And the idea is that League of Legends have a lot of people doing anti-piracy stuff. So whenever a bot would be made, someone would try and do a fix for it so that that exploit in their software could not be exploited. But because these 3 hackers were so well paid by all these people,
right,
they were able to stay a step ahead of Riot, which is actually even more impressive because it's 3 guys. Staying a step ahead of the entire division of Riot devoted to hacking stuff. They were really well financed, and they were able to do that. And that's why people would pay monthly, because if you were paying monthly, you could get the up-to-date hacks so that your bots would continue to work.
Yeah.
Riot reached out to them and said, hey guys, this isn't cool. Could you stop doing that? That would be great. And at first they received no response, and then these Germans decided to post.
Whoa!
Yeah,
these German hackers
decided to go online and search all of the personal information of the Riot employee that contacted them, asking them to stop, and then post all of that information online. Now, it wasn't technically doxing because they didn't hack this guy's profiles to find private information. It was all public information.
Okay.
But they still point out, like, this guy's a jerk. You should all bother him. Here's, like, his basic info.
Yeah.
Which was not cool. It was not a cool response.
No.
So
Riot's suing them.
Which is totally fair.
It's super justified at this point. Yeah.
Now, this article is quick to point out that League of Legends, which launched in 2009, I actually thought it was newer than that. But launched in 2009.
That sounds about right.
Made $1.6 billion in 2015.
Wow. That's definitely right, because I remember hearing people started talking about it when I was playing World of Warcraft: The Burning Crusade.
Oh, yeah.
So that time matches up about right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I was like, what's this League of Legends people are talking about? And then I looked it up and saw one picture of it and was like, yeah, I don't care.
It had 67 million people playing per month in January of 2014. So when you're used to, WoW numbers, it's not such a big deal, but still a big deal. And they were pulling in a lot of cash. So it makes sense that other companies are going to try and leech off of that.
Absolutely. I mean, look at Overwatch now. With its whole cheating situation, that there's people still trying to make cheats for it and things like that. They just did another ban wave of people on Overwatch, actually.
Oh, really?
Of more cheaters. And the saltiness of the people who got banned is just hilarious. See,
that's okay. That's what I don't think that suing this company L Sharp is necessarily the right way to go. Not that I think that it's a bad thing. Like, they definitely should sue them.
I feel like it's warranted given the response to their
Oh, totally. And what L Sharp is doing, like L Sharp is making they believe hundreds of thousands of dollars,
right?
Off of their game and off of exploiting their game,
right?
So no, it's totally justified, but I feel like they could sue these people and they'll probably win. I hope they win. And these people will go away, but if they're still sort of this big prime target, other hackers are going to show up.
So would you say that perhaps the permaban system that Overwatch has been working off of is preferable?
I think it's a better idea, because when you say, if like people are already paying $50 a month to use this service,
it's a lot.
That's so much money. I can't believe that people want to pay that.
It was the same case with Overwatch, actually. Some of the people who got banned for cheating in this most recent ban wave were saying, like, what the hell? I paid like $100 for these cheats. And now I can't even play the game.
I paid all this money to do something illegal, and then I got stopped from doing my illegal thing?
Can't believe Blizzard permabanned me when they said they'd permaban cheaters.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't think you should go off after the hackers. I think you should go after the hackers' customer base.
Right.
I think that's gonna prove to be more effective in the long run.
I agree. I also think it's easier.
Yeah, it probably is way easier.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with all these court proceedings. You just get to say, okay, you players are banned.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know if there's some legality issue with it because Riot didn't set something like that up right from the get-go.
Maybe.
Because Blizzard had immediately, with Overwatch. They're like, if you cheat, you are banned.
Listen, if we've learned anything from EA over the years, it's that you can pretty much just do whatever you want as a game publisher.
I mean, that's a fair point. But I'm sure we'll hear more about this lawsuit.
Yeah, as it develops.
Out.
I'm super interested to hear what goes on with that. Wow, what if they lost? That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. Those Germans will laugh all the way to the bank with their Deutschmarks.
Hey, those German hackers will
Excuse me.
Jesus.
With their Deutschmarks.
Yeah, no, that was fine. So,
yes. They still use Deutschmarks, right?
That's a... Do they use? Are they on the euro? Are they just on the euro now?
So we have a little story about Xbox, about the console war.
The console war. You thought it was over, but it's not over.
It's just beginning.
Well, maybe it's not just.
It's just beginning.
It's like halfway through.
We're getting there.
But no, this is an article from Destructoid from today, the 12th. And it turns out. We have some sales data.
This past July.
Last month.
For the first time ever. I don't know if it's the first time ever. For the first time in a while.
Yeah.
The Xbox One has outsold the PlayStation 4.
Oh my god.
Now, before the show, I posited that this was because everybody already has a PS4.
You might be right.
Which may be partly true.
But what's important to note about this, and what this article points out, is was it June or July that E3 was in? I can't even remember. We had an announcement from Phil Spencer himself that there was going to be new models of the Xbox, including the one that was going to come out sooner, the Xbox One S, which is a slim.
What does it stand for? Does it stand for slim? Does it stand for small? Does it stand for snake?
Does it stand for Scorpio?
No.
Because that's the other one they talked about. It stands for slim. Just call it slim. I can't believe you people. Like, seriously?
S. Now people will think it's a phone.
Oh, no. But so that did not come out in July, though. That came out at the beginning of August. So the fact that the XBone sold this well in July had nothing to do with that.
Yes.
What we realized that it probably had something to do with, after your wife pointed it out, and then I did a quick internet search to confirm it was the truth, is that in July we had the price drop of the regular XBone. So it went from $350 to $300.
Yes.
And man, I don't know, maybe that $50 was all they needed to move some units.
It's made a difference before. Look at the 3DS. When the 3DS launched, it was $250, and it did not sell very well. But the moment they cut that price to $200, excuse me, it was $300.
Oh my god!
And the moment they dropped the price by $50, it sold like really well.
Yeah.
But initially, it was like nothing. The sales numbers were bad for the 3DS when it first came
there
out.
was also a lot of bad PR for that, saying like the 3D like hurts your eyes and stuff.
Well, it did.
I mean, that was true.
I mean, and it still does. But they did fix the problem with the new 3DS, where with the old ones, you'd have to hold it perfectly still in front of your head and not move your head at all for the screen to not freak out.
Oh, okay.
It was like impossible to play with the 3D on because the screen would just go nuts if you angled your head or the system a weird direction at all. But with the new 3DS, they actually have like head tracking software in it. So it keeps track of where you're angled and where the system is angled and like adjusts the 3D accordingly.
That's cool.
It actually works very well.
Nice.
Like, it's real good. So, but good for you, Xbox.
Phil Spencer, you finally did it.
Phil Spencer, you finally did it. All you had to do was give up probably millions of dollars by lowering the price. He's a fighter. He's willing to do what it takes to make Xbox great again.
I think I've talked about this before, but I give Microsoft a lot of credit for like sticking with him through this storm that he's trying to steer them through.
I think it's going to pay off.
I think so too.
Because I think Phil Spencer's actually like very smart about how he's been handling a lot of this stuff.
And I think after we see the sales numbers for August, and after we see the sales numbers for when Scorpio comes out, we might be seeing some good things.
Yeah. And Phil Spencer just makes me want to like Microsoft more. He's a good face to put in front of the Xbox and everything. He just seems like a nice dude.
Yeah, no, he's a really good spokesperson for the company.
Yeah, like, speaking of, things on the Xbox One, I guess.
Yeah.
That everyone forgot about.
Even I forgot about it.
Who remembers Project Spark?
Nobody.
My wife is raising her hand. She remembered Project Spark.
So we reported on Project Spark when they first announced it, which was what, E3 of last year?
I think so.
Or maybe they announced it before that.
It was the one before that.
But
it
I think
was a pretty early announcement.
But I think E3 of last year was when they were like, now it's actually coming out. I remember
so.
there being more of a hubbub then.
Yeah.
In between them using...
No, released 2014.
Wow, really?
So it's, yeah.
So Project Spark was this whole thing that they talked up. It was a big deal. And the whole idea behind it was that you could make your own games with it. It was a tool for making your own games.
Right. And everybody said, that's not going to be very good because it's going to be super limited.
Yeah, everyone, because it's either, and I think we talked about this at the time. I vaguely remember talking about this at the time. I should have, because this is the reasonable argument to make with a product like this, is that you've got the people who are really interested in making games.
Yes.
And they're going to use Unity. And the people who casually want to make games, if the system is not super, super easy to use, will bounce right off this.
But if the system's super, super easy to use, it's also incredibly limited.
Yeah.
Because that means everything has been pre-programmed.
Mm-hmm.
So there's only so much you can do with the tools you are given.
And then if those people don't bounce off, they're just going to get bored of it after a certain amount of time.
Yep, no matter how much DLC you release.
Another thing about this was that it was online only, because, God, why do companies do this? Like, just stop, guys. Like,
online means fun.
At least for this, it kind of makes sense, because you want to share the stuff you make with everyone else in a live environment, I guess, but it's still super annoying. So they have decided, or I should say earlier this summer, or maybe, it was in May.
Well, last year the whole game went free.
Yeah, okay.
That's an important detail as
because
well.
Because it was originally a pay monthly fee to use, which is also crazy to me.
Plus DLC packs for more stuff to put in.
Like, why would you do that? Just make the DLC packs cost money.
And don't forget the Conquer DLC packs.
Ugh.
Because instead of making a new Conquer game, they just shoehorned him into this monstrosity.
God, that was one of the most insulting things out of E3 from 2 years ago.
It was all this hubbub of like, hey you guys, Conquer's coming back. And then they're like, yeah, he's a downloadable content pack for Project Spark.
Which then never came out.
Yeah, there's stuff about that in the
because when they went free to play, they were like, oh, well, now we're not going to release DLC packs because we're free to play. So we're not going to release Conquer. And I was like, wait, but Conquer was the thing you showed upon release of the game, so wasn't that like already DLC?
That's what I assumed.
Apparently they dragged their feet on it, which is just another reason why people probably left this thing in droves.
Yeah. Community manager Thomas Gratz said back in May, it was an extremely difficult decision for our team that we do not take lightly as far as the free-to-play model goes. So, yeah.
But they still canceled.
And now 3 months later, the game is canceled.
Yeah.
They're shutting down the servers and you can't play it anymore. I believe they said that they were working... I looked at the Wikipedia article about it too. And they said online services will end August 12th, which is today, and measures will be implemented for those who had purchased the game before its transition to a free-to-play model.
Oh.
I'm wondering what that means.
I have no idea.
Because it surely does not mean refunds.
No.
But what does it mean? Time will tell, I suppose.
So, Project Spark, the little game creation engine that couldn't...
That couldn't quite.
No. It was really badly managed.
It was announced and everyone forgot, and then it came out and everyone forgot, and now everyone will forget forever. One last time.
Hey, you know what's a company that people didn't forget about? THQ.
You know what a company who everyone did forget about is, though? Nordic Games.
Yes.
Now I want to give everyone a moment to guess what this story is about. It involves THQ and Nordic Games. That's right. Nordic Games bought THQ.
Well, they bought some of THQ.
What a swerve.
I know. So THQ closed down a while back. We reported on it. It was a sad day.
Yeah. So they bought like a leg of THQ.
Yeah. So THQ's body was divided up among a bunch of different companies, or maybe like 3 or 4. I don't know if that qualifies a bunch. Probably not. But Nordic Games bought a good handful of their stuff, including things like, what was it, Red Faction, Supreme Commander, Darksiders.
Yes.
Franchise.
There's some way better ones to talk about than that. Deadly Creatures. Destroy All Humans.
Oh, Destroy All Humans.
De Blob.
What?
And my personal favorite, Summoner.
Summoner!
Oh, the jankiest RPG.
Oh, so good. So good bad.
So good bad.
But no, okay, so Nordic bought this stuff, and when they bought it, everyone was like, who's Nordic Games? No one had heard of these
That's
Swedes.
the first thing I said when you sent me this story.
And then you read it, and that's like one of the first lines in the
article
story.
was like, who are these people?
So what's funny is usually when a company buys another company, they change the name of the old company to the name of the new company.
Yes.
When they absorb them. Now here, that's not exactly what happened because they didn't really buy THQ. They just bought properties that THQ had created, or owned. But so Nordic Games was like, okay, well, no one knows who we are, but we own these IPs that people do know. But people knew who THQ was, so why don't we change our name to THQ? Which is a weird twist, really.
Kind of a smart move, though.
It is a smart move. So now Nordic Games has rebranded as THQ Nordic.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get a new Summoner game going.
Dude, there probably is, because one of the things they say here is that they have 23 games in development. And 13 of those have not been publicly announced.
Oh, God, one of them better be Summoner.
Well, look how many IPs they have. They have like 23 IPs.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We're counting them.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. They have 27.
Okay. So
4 are unluckies.
So De Blob probably not going to get a game.
Yoga Wii, unlikely.
Unlikely. But that means the Summoner is probably getting a new game.
Yes.
Or at least they're working on one. I think it was crazy when they were like, we have 23 game projects in development. I'm like, seriously? How big is your studio? Like, that's so many projects.
They got one guy on each.
I know, right? Like, they're just some Nordic company. They're a Swedish company that, like, no one had ever heard of.
They have 84 employees.
Oh, okay.
So they have 4 people on each.
4 people on each. That'll work out great for them.
Yeah.
Oh, let's get ready for some shovelware from THQ
that just
Nordic.
Means the new Summoner game will feel just like the old Summoner game.
It'll be authentic.
It'll be very authentic.
Okay, I want to...
People's skin will disappear all the time.
I want to read some quotes that they from a release that they made. Whilst we take great pride in our Swedish roots and accomplished a great deal under the Nordic Games masthead, okay, that's not true. We decided it was time to incorporate the THQ name. Those key brands will continue to shape our business in a meaningful way going forward. And the THQ Nordic Nordic represents a core approach of doing much more than owning a highly competitive portfolio of IPs.
All right.
So, yeah, they did it because no one knew who they were before, and if they take the name of this old company that people actually knew about, they're going to get better press.
If we wear THQ's skin, everybody will remember us.
Ugh. It's a weird direction to go in. But yes, that's exactly what happened.
Exactly what's going on. It's like if EA collapsed, and then some little indie studio bought EA's IPs.
They would
and named themselves like EA Capybara Games. So people know who Capybara Games are because they made Super Time Force, and it's great.
Oh, it's so good.
So, I mean, best of luck to you, THQ Nordic. I look forward to your Summoner game.
Oh, man. I actually kind of do, too.
I feel like I really mean that.
I really want to play a new Summoner game.
I never knew I wanted it until this very moment. So now we're getting into the big story of the week, which is the fact that No Man's Sky came out.
Dude, it came out. Did you even know?
It came out today on PC, too. So now it's like out. Well, the PC version's apparently all messed up.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah. It's real bad.
Yeah.
It works for some people sometimes.
Sometimes. So a big thing, I think the very first thing we need to start with here, talking about how the street date was broken by a lot of retailers for this game.
Now this article was from the 5th, so it's a little old, but
nonetheless, we reported last week about how somebody had gotten a copy like over 2 weeks early, and had been playing it and putting up videos, and had found a way to exploit the game's money-making to get to the center of the galaxy ridiculously fast, etc., etc. And people were he was like, oh, the game's not that great, it's very disappointing. And then, after our show last week, Sean Murray, before the game came out, put out a huge patch notes list, saying, hey, you guys, this is patch 1.03, this is our day one patch. And the patch list reads like it reads like, here's everything you can do in the game, now you can do it. Like, it's a ridiculously long thing that just basically says, like, added gameplay. Like, you can read it on their website, it's pretty exhaustive. And then it was said that if anyone who's playing the unpatched version of this game prior to the 9th, so anyone who got these pre-release copies that they weren't supposed to get, is not playing a completed game.
No.
They're playing a very gutted, janky version of No Man's Sky. Now, I didn't play that version of the game, because I got the game the day it came out.
Yeah, like a normal
person and downloaded the patch and started it up.
But here's the problem, right? Because when a guy pays an absorbent amount of money to buy the game early,
$1,300.
Yeah, to buy the game early, and then he's posting stuff, it's like, okay, well...
Oh, he was writing some pretty scathing stuff about the game.
But it's like, it's easier to ignore that, because A, he's just one guy. He's not a journalist.
Yes.
And, he's posting on, like, forums somewhere in the bowels of the internet. Probably on Reddit. I assume
probably
Reddit.
on some pile of refuse like Reddit.
But the problem became that other people, specifically publications, broke the street date thing. I forget what it's called exactly, but and they started playing the game and then posting gameplay. This was for the PC version specifically, I think, but maybe...
Was it?
I think
the PC version didn't release in any form until today, I don't think.
Oh, maybe then it was just for console stuff.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there was a review embargo in place, too.
Yeah.
Where reviewers didn't get their copies until Monday the 8th.
Well, that's the thing. Polygon and Kotaku went and found retailers that were willing to give them copies of the game early. So that's how they got around the embargo. So they're like, oh, we haven't gotten our copies yet, and retailers aren't allowed to sell them yet, but we have, an in with some people, so we bought the copies from them early, illegally. And then they posted a bunch of gameplay, and they started working on reviews and stuff. Now,
but they're still playing the unpatched version of the game.
So shame on both of you for 2 reasons. Actually, 3 reasons. 1, shame on you, Polygon, because I expect better of you. I don't expect better of Kotaku. I totally expected Kotaku to do this.
Or Destructoid.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. But shame on you for breaking street date. That's not cool.
Yeah.
And then posting all this gameplay on your, like, major sites that you knew you weren't supposed to do.
Like an unfinished, unpatched version of the game.
And that's the other thing. Shame on you, secondly, because you're showing people a version of the game that they're not gonna play.
It's not representative.
So you're giving them a false impression. Yeah. And when some guy does that, I have way more tolerance for it because he's some guy, but you're a news organization.
Video game publication.
Yeah. You should know better. Don't do that. That's not cool.
It's not cool at all. A lot of these websites have not actually posted their reviews for the game yet, however.
Yeah, I saw a lot of, like, in-progress reviews, stuff like that.
Destructoid posted a full review of it.
I think today at some point. Yeah,
it was recently. So, that sucks. It's not fair.
Yeah, it's not cool.
And it's weird because you got a bunch of people, when the patch was announced, you had a bunch of people also saying, well, why wasn't this in the game to begin with? Which is a baffling statement because no one's supposed to have the game. So it is in the game to begin with.
Sort of.
Like, but
I mean, if you want to
play the game on release day without the patch, it won't let you.
So it basically is in the game to begin with.
Yeah, and all the servers got wiped the day before release.
Yeah, that's also true.
So, like, you just know the game effectively did not exist before the 9th at this point.
You were playing a beta version of the game.
You're playing a beta version of the game. And the conceit, though, of people being mad at Hello Games for shipping an unfinished product based on copies of the game that are in hands of people illegally prior to release date is mind-boggling to me. How does that make any sense at all?
Listen, Dan, we're on the internet. No one's rational
this
here.
Is like we talk about gamers being entitled to stuff. This is absurd.
Mm-hmm.
These are people who don't have the game saying, I can't believe they released this unfinished game. They didn't release it yet.
They didn't.
It's not released.
It's literally not released yet.
And what do you care? You haven't played it yet. When you play it, it'll be fixed.
Yeah.
Like,
now, you could make an argument against giant day one patches, and we have done that.
But they've become the norm.
Also, usually what ends up happening
and No Man's Sky's patch was only like 900 megabytes.
That's not much at all.
No.
Especially not for that whole War and Peace list that you were talking about. Goodness.
No, it was very reasonably sized.
But no, I take more problem with that when a game comes out and it is totally broken on day one until like 8 hours into day one when they're like, oh, we've patched it, now it works.
Which was not the case with this game.
No, it was not. You had to play it, you had to have that patch.
In fact, this game has felt more broken to me in the last couple days than it did on day one.
Oh no.
There are some freezing bugs
yeah.
and crash issues, but Hello Games has said, yeah, we're aware of that. We're working on a patch now to fix those.
And considering all the other stuff they've been doing, I believe it.
Yeah. Also, their big patch notes included thoughts for the future, which included the free downloaded, additional content of base building and controlling big space freighters and things like that. So in addition to this big patch, Sean Murray also said, yeah, we're working on like a bunch of other stuff too that's going to come in free updates in the future.
That's cool.
And base building is something I was really hoping for.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm really hyped about that.
There was all sorts of some of the funny things that you totally can't do. Do you have articles on those? The different horrible issues that people are having?
I have some. I have this interesting one about... So we talked a little bit about this, the multiplayer aspect of the game.
Oh, yeah.
And how it no longer on the back of the box says multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
It does not. Prior to the game coming out, when asked about multiplayer, they basically said... They kind of shooed away the question and said, well, the universe is so huge in the game, it's, 19 quintillion systems or planets, so the chances of you running into another player, and now that I've played it and seen how massive everything is, like, the chances of you running into another player is insanely slim.
Yeah.
So insanely slim.
But the internet's going to try.
But the internet's going to try. There's got to be some pair of people out there who end up close enough to each other that they can coordinate it and get it to happen. And the big question people had was, how is this going to work? Because they never said, if you are in the same place as another person, how that will manifest. Will you be able to see them? Presumably it's multiplayer, so you wouldn't be... it's not multiplayer, so you wouldn't be able to actually cooperate with them or do anything. And I guess they did say prior to it that, like, you'd just be able to see each other. There'd be some representation. However, within the first day, this is an article from August 10th on Polygon, 2 players figured out that they were in the same system and traveled to the exact same spot. Could not see each other.
I see. Because the internet was going to find a way.
Of course.
And all it took was less than a day for them to do it.
Which did not surprise me.
No.
So the question here is, what the hell? Was that a lie prior to release? What's the deal with this?
I think we talked a little bit last week about how Hello Games were a little naive about certain things. And I think this might have been one of them. I
agree. But Sean Murray had a response to this.
Oh, yeah?
And his response seems to indicate... So he said, we added a scan for other players option in the galactic map to try to encourage players finding each other happening. We wanted it to happen, but the first day, like, oh my god, he said, like, this is mind-blowing to me that this has already happened. However, the people couldn't see each other. The way he writes his tweets, because there's more stuff to it, is that the servers of the game, he said that too many people are playing at once right now, and the servers couldn't handle it. So it did not properly represent the players to each other in this world. I will say that in my time playing it, the not the PlayStation Network server, but the No Man's Sky server within that like handles all the like scan updating and things like that, has kicked me off constantly.
Okay.
It's constantly disconnecting and reconnecting. It's like a mess right now. So maybe that's the truth.
Maybe.
And that you are supposed to be able to see each other, and it just wasn't working because server load was hemorrhaging everywhere. But time will tell, I suppose. Because if this has happened once already, it'll happen again.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly. I'm most curious to see what your characters look like to each other. Because you never get to see what you look like playing the game.
Oh my god.
So what if you're some kind of weirdo?
Yeah, what if you look like a total noob?
A total noob. A big loser with a dumb backpack. So this is a thing that's whipped a bunch of people into a frenzy, though, because, you know, obviously the moment this doesn't happen immediately, people freak out and say, oh, he's a lying liar, we want our money back, what a liar. They lied.
This thing that wasn't a core feature of the game.
Why can't I see this other person? I hate the game now. Other than that, they've got a patch in the works for crashes and stuff. They're getting everything stable. They've been working on the PC version of the game, which launched today and is real janky.
Oh, it's bad.
But presumably that'll get tidied up in the next couple of weeks, which is good. I've been playing the game quite a bit. My wife has also played playing the game. She has her own account, because we have separate PSN accounts on my PS4. So you can just log in and play as your own little space adventure. And I find it hard. I'm not really sure where to begin when talking about it. Because I feel like we've talked so much on this show about, like, what's this game going to be? What are you doing it? That I guess I should say, from my point of view, what it's about and what you do in it. You start on a random planet, and the game's like, hey, go fix your ship. Your ship's messed up.
Oh, no.
And you go around and gather some resources from the planet. You get them from plants, you get them from rocks, you get them from big crystals, wherever. You can kill animals and get them, whatever, and you can do whatever you want. You go around, you scan animals, you fix all your stuff, you stay on the planet or you leave the planet. There's more planets, you go check those out, see what's going on there. It feels... The most immediate comparison I make is a comparison to Minecraft.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because the core of the game is kind of get stuff, make stuff, to get more stuff, to make more stuff. It's that feedback loop. So the game is very grindy, which I can definitely see not being for everyone. The animals are all randomly generated. I found that in the same systems, or systems near each other, you see a lot of similar fauna, but as you start moving away, you will gradually start seeing, like, more variation amongst them.
Okay.
Because initially, my first system, every planet had very similar creatures on it, and I was kind of like, this is kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
Like, they had some weird different features, but then I got to, I've jumped, like, 4 systems away now, and I landed on this planet, and an antelope with a slug head attacked me.
Of course.
Like a horrible lamprey head, and I was like, I ain't seen this before. So lamprey head was a new thing.
A new horrifying thing.
A new horrifying thing. I saw these cute little bird bats. They were nice.
Oh, that's nice.
I have not seen a single fish yet. To the point that I Googled today, No Man's Sky fish. Because I was like, did they take fish out of the game?
That was like a big part of the trailer.
They did not take fish out of the game. But none of the planets I have any fish on them.
Wow.
Which is weird.
That's weird.
But one day I'll see a fish, and it'll be the happiest day of my life. I think beyond that, you can boil it down gameplay-wise to you grind for resources to sell and or craft into upgrades for your suit or your multi-tool gun thing. Or you save up tons of money to buy a bigger spaceship with more inventory slots, and a different appearance that you like. So that's like the core of the gameplay. It's pretty simple. It's a very simple, basic feedback loop of get stuff, do stuff. But it has a certain something to it, and I think it's what Sean Murray was getting at before the game's release, of how he wants people to just explore, and he wants people to experience the wonder of this galaxy. Because, unlike a lot of games like this, it has this sense of scale and kind of this mystique about it that no game like it that I've played before has.
Grandeur,
exactly. You get that moment where I got that moment today where I was standing on a planet zapping a big giant lump of gold with my zappy gun to collect the gold.
Yeah.
Because why would you not?
Gotta get that cheddar.
Gotta get that cheddar. And it was on like this nasty, hot, dead planet with no animals. And I stopped zapping the gold for a second because my gun ran out of juice. And I looked up and like the atmosphere had made this really pretty red to purple to blue gradient. And there were no clouds and I could see the stars and 2 of the other planets just orbiting around this one up in the sky. And I was like, damn, that's pretty. And that's happened to me so many times playing this game where I just stop and look at it. And it doesn't look like any game you've played before. Mm. It has a very unique, all-to-itself presentation that I think is fantastic. It all looks consistent unto itself. And you go to these planets and you'll get into a string. Like, I found tons of dead planets. There's a lot of planets with no animal life on them whatsoever.
Well, that's kind of like the real universe.
Exactly. It's like the reality of space. But you know what the best part about that is? Is that makes it really exciting when you land on a planet that has tons of creatures.
Yeah.
And things like that. I landed on a planet, most recently, the one I've been goofing around on. I landed on, I was like, oh, this planet's so cool. It's got these huge oceans and these big snowy forests on like little like spiky islands. It's really neat. And it has these floating gas bags that I can zap and get this really rare resource. So I just run around shooting floating gas bags. And it has tons of animals. And I'm like, this planet is so cool. The oceans look so cool. I'm going to find a fish on here. I know it. And then I got out of my ship, and the temperature on the planet was negative 115 degrees Celsius. And I started dying almost immediately. I was like, oh, this planet's so cool, but I can't live here. It's horrible. All these animals don't care. What's wrong with them? So, but now I got to that point. I'm like, I want to explore this planet so badly because it's so rich compared to a lot of the other ones I've found. And now I have this goal of I gotta get stuff to shield myself from the cold. Yep. I gotta upgrade my suit, get all this stuff going on, because this is the first planet I found that I want to spend a lot of time exploring, because there's tons of stuff to find on it. So, when people I feel like are looking at this game as just like, well, what's the gameplay? And that's not really all you should look at. And it's definitely not for everybody. You have to have the ability to step back and kind of just enjoy the ride, I guess, because it's not a game you're playing to beat.
No.
It's a game you're playing just for the sake of experiencing something. Exploration. And that's what Sean Murray said the whole time that the game was about.
That's true.
It was an exploration game. And I think there was a lot of kickback on him prior to the game's release, because he really was, people were like, he's not saying what the gameplay is. He's not saying what the gameplay is. He did say what the gameplay is. He told us all before the game came out exactly what all of the gameplay was. I have experienced all of the gameplay that he told us about, and that's pretty much what's there.
Okay.
Until they add more. I don't think he exaggerated or lied about any of the content in this game, really. I think it's exactly what it was supposed to be when it came out. But there's tons of people who are still very upset with the finished product. And I can't help but say, you should have paid more attention to what the game was actually going to be when they were talking about it. If I did have one complaint, because I've said a lot of nice things about it now, it is that since it is procedurally generated, so it's entirely, the galaxy is static,
yeah,
but it was initially entirely randomly generated with this algorithm. The place where the scene shows is in settlements, where the aliens hang out, because there are all of, 5 configurations that you can find these settlements in, and you find them a lot. Because the game gives you incentive to go to these places a lot, to get upgrades and things. So if there's one part of the game that's already wearing thin on me, it is the stark lack of variety as far as that stuff goes.
Okay.
But I can get over it, because
Yeah.
the planets themselves are pretty cool. So, good job, Sean Murray. No Man's Sky's alright.
You did it.
Unless you're playing on PC, I guess.
Yeah, maybe wait a little bit for that. So now we gotta talk about our last story, because we're out of time.
Pokemon.
No, we're not talking about Pokemon. Get that trash out of here. We're
wanna
gonna go a whole week without talking about Pokemon, Dan. We
but
are.
It's not Pokemon Go.
No.
Even. I'll post this to our Facebook.
No, Dan.
Why would we talk about Pokemon when we can talk about Wave Race 64?
Wave Race conspiracy theories. Also, this is our voted story, so
yeah, so we actually have to talk about
it. But I want to talk about it. I want to talk about more than Pokemon, let me tell you. You like a good conspiracy theory? I know I do. There's an article from The Verge from August 11th that is such an amazing conspiracy theory. So basically there's this DJ who is a jet skiing DJ. He just loves jet skiing. And Khalid, I think. I assume that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah. I'm assuming. Like the guy in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. And December of last year, he became lost at sea. Probably while jet skiing.
Presumably?
Yeah. And he well documented it on his Snapchat. Luckily, he was fine. But 2 weeks after that...
I'm sorry. He documented his being shipwrecked very well on Snapchat. What is the world we live in anymore?
But 2 weeks later, Nintendo released Wave Race 64 on the Wii U in the European market, which is a jet ski video game. So a lot of people were like, conspiracy. Obviously. But it turns out that earlier this week, that same DJ posted a video of him talking to his pregnant fiancée, specifically to her belly, and talking to his unborn child.
About the wonders of jet skis.
Yeah, he's telling his unborn child about the wonders of jet skis. And what happens a couple days later? But Wave Race 64 becomes available on the Wii U in North America.
No way!
Coincidence? I think not.
Was she pregnant with a Wii U the whole time?
That's what we're going to find out in a few months, I think. But I like how whenever this guy makes a very public statement about how much he loves jet skis, Nintendo's like, whoa, wait, better release Wave Race 64.
Oh my god, it's like they forget that people love jet skis. And they're like, oh my god, that's right, people love jet skis.
DJ Khalid reminded us.
Thank you, DJ. And they have to release it again.
But thank goodness it's getting released, because my god.
Wave Race 64 is a cool game.
I mean, if you want to play a jet skiing video game,
it's a good,
I know that's a bit of a niche.
It's a good game.
It is a good game.
Like, it's actually a good game. Alright. What's coming out? No Man's Sky just came out.
That was a big
deal. On PC and PS4.
So today came out on PC.
Uno just came out this past week.
We talked about that last week, Dan. That was our big story.
Our big story, Uno.
It'll Grow Up, coming out on the Windows,
the sequel
PC.
to Grow Home.
Yeah. The PS4 and the XBone.
Don't forget Conception 2, Children of the Seven Stars for PC.
I don't know about that.
It's an anime baby making game.
Let's not talk about that. The Huntsman, Winter's Curse, coming out for the PS4.
Is that movie?
It sounds like it, but for some reason it has no link on Wikipedia. Oh my god, it's a text adventure.
It's like a visual novel.
Goodness, no. Take me away from this.
Cool.
I mean, that's really all.
That's what we
There's
got
nothing
this
coming
week.
out this week, I'm sorry.
It's not a good one. Just play No Man's Sky.
Yeah, just do that.
Just let you pop in that video game, go to space, and let yourself relax.
Just relax in space.
Just chill in space.
Just freeze to death on that planet.
Freeze to death on Frigidaire. That's what I named it.
That's a good name.
I'm naming all of my star systems after classic rock bands. So far, I have Boston, Journey, and Styx.
Ooh.
The Styx system.
Nice. Can I point out that one of my friends on Facebook was like, hey, I'm going to buy No Man's Sky. Should I pre-order it? And he said this like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I can get it day one on, I don't know if it was PC or console. I want to say it was PC though. And I was like, no, you fool. It's a AAA game. Don't get it day one. you some kind of dummy? And he was like, but I want to play it. And I'm like, you're the problem. You're what's wrong with the game industry. And then I mimed hitting him with a newspaper.
I must say, I also named a planet Full House. And I named every species I discovered on that planet after one of the actors of Full House.
Good.
So it's got these goofy velociraptors that tried to kill me that are all called John Stamos.
I was going to say, the John Stamos race has to be the most beautiful race.
Dude, it took me forever to find Ashley Olsen. She was the last species I needed to discover. I was like, I have Mary Kate, but where's Ashley? There's also these weird Ewoks with beetle faces that run away from me that are all named Dave Coulier. He does.
Yeah, no, we got a
Lex
great...
just found a picture of DJ Khalid, our jet ski magnate, and it says that he looks like a GTA load screen.
And then it posts a picture of him, and oh yeah, he does.
He really does.
He really does. He almost looks like he's rendered in computer graphics, too. Like he does. Maybe he's not actually a real person.
Oh my god, he's just
Nintendo created him.
He's like the Tupac hologram.
Except his sole purpose to exist is not
to promote jet skis.
Yeah, to promote jet ski video game port releases. Amazing.
Well, everybody,
okay,
we'll get deeper into this conspiracy next week. But until then... Oh, should we do our plugs?
Oh yeah, let's do our plugs real quick.
Okay,
so we're Don't Copy That Floppy. We're a video game news podcast. We're live 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.chipit.net. Check out that website. It's awesome. You can check out our show archive there. You can also check out our show archive on iTunes. Plus, you can find us on Steam, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook. Soon we're going to be on Twitch. It's going to be great.
We got a Patreon.
When we got a Patreon, you can donate monthly to us. We'd super appreciate it. Help support the show. I think that's it.
So
until next time, remember,
don't copy that floppy.